So during the 7th grade open house at McCullough this year, we had all of the families in one classroom at the beginning, and we showed them this presentation and just kind of talked a little bit about 7th grade in general. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to hear that information. So I'm going to go through that and kind of talk about what we did at open house. So first thing we did was we introduced some of our really great team support for 7th grade. So Miss Baith is our 7th grade administrator. Miss Quinton is our 7th grade school counselor. Miss Amon and Miss Brady are the team leaders for 7th grade. Miss Grimes is the paraprofessional. And then Miss Munson, Miss Gallagher, and Miss Bonham all provide support, whether through math, reading specialists, or through our special education program. So Miss Salisbury and Mr. Wachilla introduced themselves for the social studies. And so in 7th grade, social studies students will be able to analyze historical events, understand how the world functions through trade, and gain a better understanding of what effective citizenship means in the United States. So all students will be engaging in this curriculum and show what they know through reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Those are the 4 focus areas that are used to assess students on the Smarter Balance test given each year, and social studies really helps to focus on those. Social studies students, they need one notebook, either spiral or composition. They need pencils every day, and they need a folder. Their grades are based on percentages, so homework is 10% of the grade, classwork is 30%, and then assessments are 60% of the grade. Our science department is Miss Kelly Amond and Mr. Fowler. The supplies that the students need for science are 2 notebooks, and they do use them daily. They need a folder, and then their grading is also broken down by percentage. So 10% would be their problem of the day and their homework, 25% is lab work, 25% is skill building, and then 40% is assessment. Be sure that your student brought home their lab safety paper, because they need that signed in order to participate in any labs that they do in class. So this year students are going to learn how to use microscopes, design, execute labs, effectively communicate evidence, how to work safely and cooperatively in groups, how to use class time effectively, how to keep a lab journal organized, study habits, and also accountability and responsibility. So science uses the next generation science standards, and they're using a new curriculum this year, the TCI science programs. So they're going to start with matter, then move on to cells and genetics, and then adaptations. The programs are more aligned with the new standards, and they intend to help students learn to ask better investigative questions and develop models to explain scientific phenomena. So at home, the way you can really help your student for science is practicing vocabulary words, using flashcards regularly. There is a lot of vocabulary that they use in science class. Ask your student what they're learning in class. Have them teach it to you. Check your student's notebook to see if assignments are completed and our notes are up to date. If they're missing anything, make sure that they get that caught up. And ask for students for grade sheets. The science teachers do try to send them home twice a marking period, but you can check home access at any point as well. We have some really great exploratory programs this year. We have health, physical education, art, band, music. In addition, we also have a STEAM math program by Mr. DeCecco, and Mr. Bay this year is doing a healthy living class during exploratory as well. Each year, and when we get towards the springtime, we have the Smarter Balance assessment, and they do that for both English and math. As we have the exact schedule, more information will be coming out about that and be sent home to parents. Our ELA team is Miss Gallagher, Miss Haldane, Miss Gross, and Miss Lane. So for reading, students seek to understand new information, appreciate various cultures and topics through reading and critical analysis. For writing this year, the emphasis is on grammar and language through the development of various research-based, informative, argumentative, and descriptive texts. They use lots of different types of texts. And our ELA teachers use a lot of the blended learning model. So they use Schoology a lot, so you'll be hearing your students talk about how they were using Schoology. For ELA, students need a composition notebook, they need highlighters, pencils, and they do need earbuds because of that blended learning model. Students also will do RI testing and the Smarter assessment testing, which also, those dates will come out soon, and then grading the scores are calculated using the total points that are earned. Our math team is Mr. Snow, Miss Titus, Miss Brady, and Mr. Small. We use the CMP3 Connected Math project. That's our curriculum. based on the Common Core state standards. The main focus for 7th grade is proportional reasoning, but we also do an introduction to algebra, talk about geometry, and towards the end of the year we have a probability unit as well. In math, they do need a notebook, a folder, pencils, and their math book and their agenda book. The math book is generally kept in the classroom with the teacher. Sometimes it is sent home though. And then for math, we do goal-based grading. It's a little bit different than some of the other content areas. More information will be coming home with your student from their math teacher, but instead of seeing percentages, you will see a list of goals, and you will see that the student either earned a 3, which meant they did not reach that goal, they earned a 5, which means they're progressing towards that goal, or they earned an 8, which means they met that goal. Here at McCullough, we do have a positive behavior support program. All students are expected to be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. Pretty soon we'll be rolling out our PBIS rewards program. Anytime students display positive behavior, they're rewarded with those points, and they can trade them in for supplies, prizes, incentives, and different events. Home Access Center is a great tool for families. At any point, you can use that to check attendance, grades, your child's schedule. Some of the symbols that you're going to see on Home Access is an I for incomplete. It means the student did not turn it in. It's automatically put in as a 50%. X is excused. So for whatever reason, the teacher may have excused the student from that assignment. And then AE would be absent excused. So a student might have been absent from school, may have been something that they had to have been in class to do, and a teacher may excuse them from that. Please note that for math, you will see something different. This is what you'll see for all the other classes, but for math, you will only see the numbers 3, 5, and 8. Again, 3 means they did not meet the standard, 5 means that they're progressing towards it, and 8 means that they did meet it. Here at McCullough, we have a response to intervention RTI program. It really focuses on the student. It looks at the student and the student's academic needs, and they find a best place to help advance that student to the next level to kind of meet them where they are. So all students are screened at least 3 times per year in math and reading. Reading for all students is regular and spaced throughout the school year. So we use different types of instruments and programs to help us with that. So we use the reading inventory program, which a lot of the students have already been working on. The math screener, again, the students have been working on that already, and we use the dream box as well. Enrichment classes are every day, and they are held at the end of the day. Enrichment classes support students' growth in math, reading, or both. That is the time for McCullough to have RTI. We have many sports here at McCullough. Soccer, which is co-ed, and field hockey for girls, which is starting now. In the winter, we have wrestling, girls and boys basketball and cheerleading, and then in the spring we have baseball, softball, and girls and boys track. Be sure that you have a physical. It must be on a DIAA physical form. If you have any questions, be sure to see Mr. Armstrong. 7th grade does have some field trips coming up. Information will be coming home with the students soon, but we're going to Longwood Gardens, we're going bowling, and we're going to the aquarium. We are looking for parents or guardians that are willing to chaperone. If you completed the volunteer process last year, then you are already approved, and be sure when you see a permission slip come home that you check the box that you would like to chaperone. If you are not already approved, be sure to double check the district website. All the information for how to become an approved volunteer is listed there. So that was the end of our presentation. At any point, please feel free to reach out to any of the teachers. The phone number at the school is 302-429-4000, and the extension for each of the teachers would be the room number on the screen with a 0 added to the end.